What's up, everybody? It's Josh coming at you from Nerdvengers Tower. There are some new, really interesting leaks and rumors about the Obi-Wan Kenobi show that we need to talk about. This stuff is pretty cool, and I'm sure it will excite many Star Wars fans out there, but it does give away some elements of the show, so slight spoiler warning before we get into it. Let's talk about flashbacks and or dream sequences in the Kenobi show. According to Making Star Wars, there will be flashbacks in the show, and the most recent bit here is that we will see flashbacks with a de-aged Hayden Christensen in the Kenobi show. It's crazy. We were just talking about this on Nerd Theory. The idea of going back in time with a flashback or a dream sequence with Ewan McGregor. A long-standing rumor here was that you would see Ewan McGregor and Anakin Skywalker in their Clone Wars armor in the show. And I'm personally really interested to see how this will play out, and using the de-aging techniques on both Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen allow you to go to almost anywhere in the past with these two characters. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the flashbacks in Kenobi will be much more satisfying than the flashbacks we got in the Book of Boba Fett.
Like a panther.
And let's stop for a second here and consider all the incredible possible flashbacks that could be in this show. Let's start with Palpatine. Yeah, Big Daddy Palps, man. Ian McDiarmid did recently tease out the possibility of Palpatine still being around in other shows, and he in fact talks about Kenobi when mentioning that. And of course, Palpatine is a core part of the Star Wars mythos, but particularly important for a character like Anakin Skywalker, and I think we're all really interested to see what Vader is going to be like at this time period 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. Palpatine loves messing with Darth Vader, poking and prodding him, keeping him on his toes. And if the show is about suffering and the suffering of Anakin becoming the suffering of Obi-Wan, I think you could absolutely have some interesting things with Palpatine and Vader, perhaps even before he reveals himself to be Palpatine, the Sith Lord. There's frankly all sorts of cool things that they could do with the Emperor in the show. And as I said earlier in this video, a long-standing rumor was that we would see Anakin and Obi-Wan in their Clone Wars armor in a flashback sequence in the show, and it would just make sense with a de-aged Hayden Christensen to do a scene like this. And to add even more spice to this possibility, I have heard that a young Ahsoka, possibly even played by a different actress than Rosario Dawson, will be in this sequence as well. I mean, the Clone Wars, the show, was such an important thing for the canon of Star Wars and for Star Wars fans. So many incredible moments between those characters happens in that show, and perhaps a version of something we saw in the show or something we didn't see in the show but happened around that same time period. It would just make sense for a show as epic and as important as Kenobi to have something from that time period with those characters. Let's talk about Qui-Gon freaking Jinn, as yes, it is being reported that Liam Neeson has returned to Star Wars and will be doing something in the Kenobi show with the Qui-Gon character. Now, many people believe this is likely just his voice, as he is training with Obi-Wan on Tatooine, but it's also possible with these flashbacks here that we go back to a time with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, his master. I mean, I would love to see stuff from even before Phantom Menace with a much younger Kenobi. It would be really cool to maybe see some of the lessons that Qui-Gon was trying to impart on him then. Maybe even stuff from around the time of the prequels when Qui-Gon is explaining why he has so much faith in Anakin and why he feels like Anakin is the chosen one. Again, really playing into the theme of Kenobi and Darth Vader. I also think it's possible we see some Order 66, and whether this is through memories of Kenobi watching footage or through memories from Darth Vader himself, the events of attacking the temple during Order 66 is a huge moment in Star Wars, very important, and has long been rumored to be a big part of the show. During the investor meeting from 2 years ago, when Kathleen Kennedy showed audiences in a closed room a sizzler reel for Kenobi, in the concept art, of that sizzler reel, you see 3 Jedi defending younglings in the temple against Vader and the 501st. And so I think seeing flashbacks of Order 66 would elate fans, be very cool to witness, and also tie directly into the themes of these 2 characters for this Disney Plus series. And this bit's speculation here, but I actually think it's possible that we see some flashbacks while Kenobi's maybe dreaming on Tatooine, and a lot of this will be about him, but it's also possible we see flashbacks from the perspective of Hayden Christensen's Darth Vader. I mean, we kind of know that there will be some shots in Kenobi of Anakin in Bacta or without his suit, and just like in the Boba Fett show, this is a fine place to put some flashbacks, or flashbacks as we call them now. And if we do get some flashbacks from the perspective of Anakin, I actually expect it to be possible that Padme could be a part of this. Padme is an incredibly important character to Anakin and to his turn to the dark side. She is the thing that Palpatine uses to twist and turn Anakin Skywalker into being his disciple. We know from the comic books that Anakin is kind of still trying to resurrect Padme post Revenge of the Sith, and she's never that far from his mind. And I think this would actually really excite fans if they got Natalie Portman to come back and do scenes for some kind of a flashback, and it would really nail down the suffering of Darth Vader in the show. The possibilities are very cool here. There's a ton of stuff that I think Star Wars fans would be really excited to see, but it is the fact that most of these flashbacks seem to be serving the character development of Obi-Wan that has me really excited. At this point, the Kenobi show is coming with a ton of possibilities, but also some trepidation from fans. There is a slight concern that lore could be altered or that this could ruin certain moments from the pre-established Star Wars movies and shows. But everything we're hearing about these rumors, including the flashbacks, seem to be really servicing the canon and the character of Obi-Wan. It is a huge theme of the show that Obi-Wan Kenobi is suffering. He is suffering and feels loss of his old friend Anakin Skywalker. In many ways, these flashbacks are simply to take us through his mental ability to cope with the loss and the suffering that he has endured. And in the best version of this, if the show absolutely nails it, it will serve to enhance the characters and enhance the perspective we have when we watch the other shows and movies over and over again. It'll be way more than fan service. It will be actual story building, paying off things from the past, and enhancing the experience of fans. I'm personally getting more and more excited for Kenobi as the weeks go on. All of these different rumors actually seem to just balance this perfect thing between being super freaking awesome and getting me super excited, but also like having the care, taking the care with the canon. So man, it's just seeming like there's a lot of fun possibilities here, and they might just nail it. We could be up for something incredibly special with Kenobi. So let me know what you think about flashbacks in the Kenobi show, and I honestly hope that wherever you are at in the world, when this video finds you, that you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.